Happy day, everyone. Hope all is well. Today I'm going to be going over my settings, along with some tips and tricks I have for ranked Halo Infinite. If you like what you see in here, and get some good knowledge from this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. My next video will be how to be a good teammate in the various game modes. First thing we will be diving into are my settings. This is the basis of my performance. While these are just the base settings I use, I will adjust them based on things I notice I am doing in-game. Everything is default. I have not changed any of this until we get to sensitivity. I've bumped it up a little bit. I don't remember what exactly it starts with, but this is the current settings I have for sensitivity. And then if we go down here, the axial dead zone, this is the current setting I have for it, which I think it started at 13. The first tip I actually have is with the right joystick. You want to have as much fine control as possible. If you can get an extension for your joystick, something like this, it'll help tremendously. Lowering the dead zone to this point allows you more room to move the stick for fine control without experiencing drift. But this will vary controller to controller. So make sure you test out your settings before jumping into ranked. The last setting I want to show you, because again, just about everything is default, and I want to point out that I am using just a controller for this, is if you go to UI and go all the way down to depth offset. This is an underrated setting. If you max this out to 100% for every weapon type, it will pull the weapon back on the right hand side so you can see more of the screen or more of the game. This should be maxed out to 100% in any and all situations, especially if you are playing ranked. This wraps up my settings. Try these out on your next ranked game and let me know how you did. This first tip may seem like an obvious one, but it's something I see a lot from when playing with lower ranked people. And that is your aim. Now, I tend to aim slightly above their head. You'll see it. I'm playing against a bot, so it's nothing complicated here. But see, I'm aiming slightly at their head. The reason I do that is I want that final burst from the BR to take down their shields and get a headshot at the same time. And you love hearing that perfect come through. Now, with that being said, missing the head is not a bad thing while they still have shields. Because while they still have shields, there is no damage boost for hitting them in the head. The shield drops in the same amount of bursts regardless of where you're aiming. Which then brings me to my next tip. Always be shooting. You always miss 100% of the shots you do not take. I, on average, fire around 500 rounds per match. Looking for an accuracy rating in the 50 to 60% range. It is a massive detriment to your growth as a player and to your team if you are not shooting. Your battle rifle is your best friend, not grenades, not melee. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen someone shoot a total of 250 rounds and end up with a KD of 3 and 16 on the match. So again, always be shooting. This next one is for survivability, and that is to mix up your movement. Everyone knows how to jump in Halo when they're in a firefight. That means everyone knows how to shoot and hit somebody while they're jumping in Halo. You need to mix it up. At some point, instead of moving left to right and jumping, stop and jump straight up in the air. You can drift out of it a little bit or something like that, but stop and jump straight up in the air. Next time you get into a firefight, just duck and move left to right. The opponent's going to be aiming up high, so you just have to aim up a little bit more. It's going to take them a second to adjust, and plus you're making yourself a smaller target. You need to mix it up. You want to keep your opponent guessing. Once you become predictable, you become easy to take down. Go back and read that card again. It is very easy to avoid grenades for both you and your opponent. Yes, you will get kills every once in a while with a grenade, but chucking them in a firefight is just asking to get yourself killed. But you do want to get your opponent to move in the way you want them to. If the firefight is taking place where both you and your opponent have cover options, throw a grenade behind the cover. Make it so they cannot use it. Or if you're fighting two enemies, throw a grenade in between them. Force them to split up. Grenades are just an option to control your opponent's movement, not the primary way to down them. This is my final tip, and something that very few people do, especially when playing with randoms. Communication can turn a game around and give you a massive advantage if you do it properly. You always want to let your teammates know where someone is, and calling this out or pinging them on the map goes a long way. You can even coordinate attacks on your opponent this way, but be kind to each other. Do not call other people out for being at a different skill level than you, or for having a different method to do something like capture the flag. If you have to rage about something, mute your mic. I hope these tips and settings help you out on your journey to becoming an Onyx level player in Halo Infinite. If you have any more tips you would like to share with others, be sure to drop them in the comments below. Let me know if these tips helped you in the comments as well. And be sure to like and subscribe, as I will be doing a series of tips on how to be a better teammate in the various ranked game modes. Thank you for stopping by, and have a great day. Doodles!